This is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. We're here on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is a game that I absolutely loved when it released. It was a complete surprise to me and ended up being my favorite game of the particular year that it came out. This was such a shock, such a nice surprise, and a very pleasant experience that I do highly recommend playing. And here on the PlayStation 5 Pro, with the extra overhead that is present, we actually get a better looking game. Now, I don't anticipate this will ever actually get a proper Pro enhancement, which is such a shame, mostly because, you know, all the different selling of the company that worked on it, and how many years it's been, and the fact that there's not like a sequel coming or anything like that, which is an even bigger shame, which sucks. But hey, we got a much better looking experience here with this extra overhead. Because if you didn't know, this game strangely technically demanding, and some performance issues here or there, and some lower resolution issues here or there, but I do assure you now with the Pro here, it is a much better offering. Okay, so let's dive in and talk about the settings. And we're on streamer mode, so there's actually usually some like vibe and music going on, so just keep that in mind. We've got 3 different visual options here that you can choose between. So we're on performance mode, there's quality, and there's ray tracing. So we're going to just kind of show off performance mode for a bit more here. So this is 1080p 60 FPS, and there is HDR support. So in the past, and it's still kind of also the case, 1080p is obviously 1080p, it's a lower resolution, but the 1080p here just looks a lot cleaner. Like, it doesn't look as, like, there's still fuzz in the hair kind of, but it's not as bad. The clarity is much better than it was in the past, which I am very much appreciative of. What's the number, guys?
4 of them.
Yeah.
Are you having difficulties, Peter Quill?
4.
0451.
Oh.
2, 2, 1, 8.
No. Do not
And let's go.
there.
Although it is really weird that it says streaming mode on the top of the screen. I literally do not understand the point of that. I guess it's because there's usually like music playing, so it's to remind you that there's music playing. It's such a weird watermark.
We're in.
So anyways, I would still recommend playing the game on the 1080p 60 FPS mode because there's a lot of combat, there's a lot of action, there's flashy movement. But this is a game that you can get away with doing different modes. And like I said, I think hopefully this is coming across well on YouTube. This looks infinitely sharper at the performance mode than what I had experienced when I played this on the Series X when this came out. Like, it makes a big visual difference. Let's go to the next mode. So we're going to go to quality mode. So we went from performance, now we're at quality mode. So quality mode is basically like your full 4K at 30 FPS. It's still dynamic, but it's basically a full 4K at 30 FPS. Now, this is a game where I guess you could, since, you know, it is a little more story focused, there's action and combat and everything like that, but a lot of it is narrative driven, a lot of it's like easier going movement. You could theoretically get away with doing this and you'd be fine with it. Totally up to you and how you want to play the game, and that's why I'm talking about and showing it. This is a really nice game. Okay, we're just skipping ahead so we can actually show off some of the regular gameplay. And it plays through the controller. Well, that's interesting.
Don't worry. Once the thumpers are placed, we'll meet in the middle and we'll capture the monster. Together. Very well.
as the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I would say, though, that I don't think the quality mode is really needed, because the Ray Trace mode, which actually came out a little bit after launch, is essentially the same. Plus, you get the effects of ray tracing. Okay,
Take care of my
so here we are.
Peter, not a child.
That's great, Gamora.
Can you imagine?
And then we've got this thing that lets us scan stuff, we can learn things, it's all good, everybody's happy. Oh, I've also got a great interview for this game on the channel with the
In quotes.
Nikki character, which is quite cool, so definitely recommend checking that out if you haven't.
Definitely feels
So yeah, this is the quality mode. It's gorgeous, looks fantastic, looks much cleaner than it did before. But if we switch over and we go to the ray tracing mode, I would say really to not think too much about the quality mode, because I don't really think it's quite necessary, because the ray tracing mode basically is just a better version of it. So it's still dynamic 4K, near full 4K, at 30 FPS,
taking that big cylinder.
but now you get ray trace reflections.
That's the mining rig.
So
All clustered together like
yeah,
this.
either you want the frame rate at 1080p,
The entire galaxy held
or
together
you
by-
want the full 4K with the ray trace reflections.
Nanoresin.
It's going to be
Just saying, it's a lot
a
of
negligible visual change up if you do go between like 4K and 4K, but with ray trace reflections. And I would just personally, I would recommend that. Now you do get the choice,
Like an old Novacore fridge.
so totally up to you. Regardless, it does seem like the performance level is smooth across the board, which is awesome, because this is a game again that strangely
I can name it.
struggled.
Planets with monsters on it.
Yeah, it's just kind of nice to have this game looking and running
So
at its best.
mealy.
And I would love a miracle upgrade, but again, like I said,
Nobody else.
I just kind of assume with the fact that they did, you know, they moved on to other projects, we're not getting a sequel. This one kind of wasn't a huge success, which is such a shame, because I do genuinely recommend this game because it's so good. I played through it to review it,
Know who joined us?
and then I streamed the whole game
Hate everybody.
literally like the day after
A swell guy.
I did, which is kind of funny. So yeah, like I said, okay, I literally played through it, and it's a pretty lengthy game. Like it is,
There's the mining rig.
what, 20 something hours or something like that.
Not yet.
I played through it, and then literally, I think the day after, when I was done my review and all that, I literally jumped right back in to playing it again and streaming it the whole way through. So you can watch the stream of it if you need to see what the performance mode is like. I wish there was some shinier surfaces here, or more reflective surfaces,
Dead end.
because the ray tracing can be really cool
There we go. Paths this
in the right scene, and it's a subtle improvement. That's the thing, right? I'm saying it's like 4K 30 or 4K 30 with ray tracing. You might as well have the ray trace reflections.
because on
And we'll switch over to performance mode. Personally, though, I still say performance mode is the way to play this.
keen sense of direction.
But you know, again, you do you, right? Like, it is a noticeable drop, and it's gonna be, because that's a massive difference in resolution. But still a really, really nice looking game.
Ah, Quill.
I'm okay.
And then you get the fluidity, which I feel is kind of helpful, especially when you get to some of the later combative sequences. And this game, when it's going, it's just pumping. Like, there's all this crazy music going on, like the soundtrack's fantastic, the combat, controlling your squad. And then there's also, like, there's emotional beats, too. Like, this game, it may just seem like a silly thing. Like, this is not your average, I guess you would say, Marvel Cinematic Universe group of Guardians of the Galaxy. I would say this is a lot more, kind of like comic-oriented almost, or at least it's like an original take on the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's the crew you obviously know from the films, in terms of it being Star-Lord, Gamora, Groot, and Rocket. But there's some new characters that weren't even, like, I think one of them wasn't even introduced at the into the MCU at the time, or there was a kind of a bit of a bleed over going there. But like they've got little different personalities while still being kind of on par to that of the MCU, which is kind of neat, but they do their own thing with it, which I do highly appreciate. That's what I'm saying. It's like I think this game is so good. It's so fun. It's hilarious at times. It's entertaining. It's got great action. It's got good choice kind of little things to it here or there where you can kind of, you know, pick your dialogue poison. It's got great music. Really well done emotional delivery because a lot of the game has to deal with a younger person who's got all these troubles, and you know Peter Quill, Star-Lord, there is having to kind of deal with that in his own way, and
Yellow and blue missile bay. Got it.
yeah, it's really quite pleasant, honestly. It's a lot of fun. There's some great surprises. You get to go visit a lot of different planets. Yeah, I really genuinely love this game. I seriously do.
Gamora, make sure the Milano don't get stuck in any of this resin. Or, trying to bring the whole place down, Quill?
The controller stuff
I
is
got
annoying.
it. First
Okay.
tool in the old tool.
Ooh, don't die, don't die, don't die.
Uh-oh.
Guy.
It's a slime thing. And yeah, the combat is kind of cool in this. It really is, like, it's
You
flashy
dead,
and
Quill?
stylistic.
We can hear your wussy squeal even without the comms.
Little busy.
Yeah, we got, like, little cube things we're fighting here for the first part.
I am not familiar with this lobby.
Crap, that's cheating. You guys should have seen that. It was this weird.
Perform a melee attack. Yeah, so everybody's got personality. You're kind of commanding everyone. All the interactions kind of feed through that. This really is a story focused on, like, Peter Quill, specifically, and then you do, like, combo things as a squad. I know some people were kind of like, oh, I want to play as each of the different Guardians,
Peter Quill.
but I do genuinely believe that this is best served and designed when you are playing specifically from the point of this character. It makes a lot of sense as the story goes on.
Eaten by a blob or something. Should have heard him squeal.
You must fight with dignity, Peter Quill.
Or at least die with it.
Not funny.
The controller sounds are kind of annoying sometimes, but I keep them on for the immersive experience when it comes to reviewing stuff.
Like you could even tell if she had an honest face.
If we set up all these thumpers and no monster shows, we'll just need to salvage what's
And I do want to say, like, the art direction in this game is, like, stunning. Like, it's so beautiful. Like, you really do feel like you're going in these fantasy worlds. I feel like we're almost robbed of more of this universe, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, since we're not getting a sequel or anything. Because they just could have done so much with this game. Like, this series and these characters. And yeah, it's genuinely such a shame that we're not going to see this expanded outwards. Because, I mean, like, just look at this, eh? So much detail, so much depth. Groot ripped this door. Groot make a bridge?
See that cool viney thing? That's one hell of a party trick, big guy.
Yeah, you can definitely see the 1080p over there.
Oh, they're everywhere. All right, back to business. Boom, right under your nose,
Ah.
Quill.
Yeah, he totally robbed me out of that stuff.
Things chewing up all this beautiful salvage.
Groot, I found a hitch. Can you latch on?
There's also really funny things too, where you can like throw like rocket or come. There's lots of funny
We
little
have
things
seen
they do
many
in
such
this.
ships.
He means active ones. We haven't talked about what to do if we run into a Nova Corps patrol.
We will restrain them until we are done here.
Bad idea. Those cops are all connected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Them and their chatter, and you get these like beautifully colorful, vibrant environments. Like, you really do get to visit some cool places. I'm almost tempted sitting here through this video to just like replay this whole thing again. It really is. It's a lovely time. I think if you do give it a chance and you actually sit there and play through this game, you will be
Looks like this med kit is
genuinely shocked by how good this is. The characters, the emotions, the way everything sets up, the cool music, especially if you're not playing on streamer mode, and yeah, there is a lot to. I forgot to scan everything, but then again, I don't really care, I guess. Yeah, the scanning stuff really doesn't matter too much in this because I'm not like trying to get any like trophies or anything like that.
The resin will hold.
I am Groot.
That heavy. I seen this goop anchor a Shatari dreadnought. We'll be fine.
Huh. Get rocket a charged battery. Okay. Sounds like a lot of work for me, am I right?
found something with a charge. Kind of looks like a.
Oh, there's like a few little puzzles and things too. I think it all flows really nicely, this game, honestly. Like, you can sit there and just kind of like whip through it and have a pretty great time. And like, you're not gonna ever feel like you're bored or tired or anything like that. You'll just want to spend more time with it. And it's so fulfilling when you get those big action moments and how everything sets up. It's still also what I would say is a pretty self-contained story too. Like, obviously, this is something that I would have loved to see have like a full trilogy or more releases out of. But since this is, again, I'm my assumption, I don't think we're ever getting anything more from this, which is such a shame. You know, it is still a self-contained narrative that you can enjoy and have fun with. And I think that's really great too, so that you don't feel like you're getting, you know, robbed as of... Well, I feel like we're definitely robbed in terms of not having the story continue, personally. But you won't feel as though you're left cliffhanged or anything. This is a story that does have, you know, a beginning, a middle, and an ending sequence. And I think that's really important too. The fact that, like, basically this game does conclude. Yeah. It does conclude. I think that's really special because so few stories, properties, and games do that anymore, and they always like try to cliffhang you on things. So it is nice that this actually is something that can be finished and you'll have a satisfied time with it. Left craving more, even though we're not necessarily going to ever get that, but you'll still have that sense of satisfaction where you, like, you know how these characters all kind of end up here and stuff, and very, very well done. Seriously, like, this whole game is just really a lovely visit here. Good character development, good laughs, good story. The big moments, the emotional breakdowns, the quirkiness. Some of the strange cult-like things. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on. This game is wildly expansive. This mode looks really, really good. Yeah, it was a surprise to get this mode. I really wish developers would have left more, like, future-proofing modes. Like, it's weird, because you've got, like, some people that will sit there and they'll be like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, this mode is terrible, but, like, some people like myself would sit there and be like, oh, well, this mode that's, like, you know, kind of uncapped or whatever is a perfect mode to enjoy things in the future. Like, seriously, it would be that easy just to have, like, your quality mode having an uncapped option. I think would be phenomenal. Because then you could have something like, you know, this console or the PlayStation 6 come in and make this look even better. I'm assuming everything will be absolutely maxed out on this when the PS6 comes out. But, oh, I thought there was a little thing there. So for now, I'm very, very happy with this mode. I think it looks fantastic. I just wish there was really, really shiny reflective surfaces to show you how cool ray tracing can be in this, but we don't have that luxury. When I did my update video, I actually picked, like, a ship part of the game, and, like, all the windows, and the, like, it looked really, really cool seeing that. I think it added a lot to the ambience.
Where would I be now if those blue butt studs managed to walk up with their half-world experiments?
I am Groot.
Chances are you'd be
So mostly, my hope is, if you've been sitting around checking this out and enjoying what it looks like, that you'll play this game if you haven't. Maybe you'll be more encouraged to revisit it. But, yeah, it really is quite an amazing experience. Do not miss out on playing this. This game is a lot of fun. It's criminally underloved, honestly.